Hey, and welcome to Extraordinary Chaos and to part 4 of Cricut for Beginners, Sarah style, I suppose. And today we're going to make alphabets. So I'm really excited about this because this is something I'm super passionate about. I started making alphabets, probably about 8 years on Extraordinary Chaos and giving away the full 3 sets of alphabets and numbers for people to use for crafting, for card making and scrapbooking, and cutting out with wood and acrylic. And I'm going to show you how I do it in Cricut Design Space. So last week, if you were here, if you weren't here, you might want to go back and look at last week because we learned how to design the umbrella and the cupcake. And there they are. And we designed those in Design Space from shapes. So what you're going to do today is you are going to make those into these letters. So you can see there with the umbrella letter that it's actually sliced into the letter. So because that's a letter A, it's Academy engraved alphabet. And if you see, there's areas where the alphabet's missing. So that is how I built my alphabet. So we're going to work through and we're going to build 2 letters today. We're going to build the umbrella one. So you're going to make your own raindrops and you're going to make the umbrella alphabet. And then you are going to make the cupcake alphabet. So I've used the cupcake we made last week, but just to show you that this is also doable, you don't have to make your own files. I've got the rolling pin and the baker's hat, and they're free images from Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do it with those as well. And the beauty of these is that you can create anything. And the reason that I started doing this was I think I was making a birthday card for one of my boys, and I wanted to make, they're football mad, so I wanted to make it football themed. So I made a letter J, they're both a Jack and a Joe, and I wanted to make a letter J and of a football theme, and I made it and thought that's really cool because I love personalised. And when my kids were little, if I could personalise it or buy it personalised, I would. And they love to have their name on everything. I mean, these can be cut out on vinyl as well, and they're great on backpacks and jumpers. I've made hoodies with them. What you need to do, though, is you need to make sure that you make a copy of your umbrella and a copy of your cupcake. You will have those in Design Space from last week if you followed along. And you'll need a copy of those because we need those for next week. Because what we're going to do next week is we're going to make these into layered cake toppers. Okay, I feel like I've waffled there a bit, but yeah, let's get started. So you're going to start by typing a letter A and then going into fonts. So you want system fonts, and you should have Academy engraved there. If not, search through for a font similar, but this is on my Mac, so I'm assuming that everybody's got it if they've got Words or Pages. And then we're going to get a circle, and we're going to get a heart shaped out of the 3 shapes. And that's because we're going to make a raindrop. Now, if you've got access, you can use the tear shape, but we haven't. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to colour the heart a different colour so that I can see the difference, unlock it, and I'm going to drag it and then pull the circle over the bottom of it. And I'm aiming for a tear shape. And so there you go. Once you slice that out, you've got almost a tear. So now I'm going to unlock it and drag it in, create an offset, and that just makes the edges a bit more rounded. And there's my tear. If you want to get an open raindrop, what you're going to do is you're going to create an offset, and then you're going to slice it out of the offset. So once you've created the offset, select both layers and click slice, and that enables you to make your outline. So we've got an open raindrop and a closed one. So what we're going to do now is just flip them because it's not raining up, it's raining down. And now we're going to start to build our letter. So I'm just going to duplicate that and put one out of the way just in case. And we're going to start with the umbrella. Now this is the important thing about creating these alphabets. What you don't do is weld them together, because if you look, there's holes in the umbrella and that will ruin the image of the umbrella. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to duplicate the umbrella and put one to one side. Then we're going to click on that umbrella hovering over your A, and we're going to remove all the contours, select both layers and slice it out. And what we've done there is we've sliced the umbrella out of the letter. So when we pop it back in, it doesn't affect the overall image. So you're going to see through the holes. Now we're going to weld that together. But here's what you've got to be really careful of. Can you see the bottom of the handle where it hasn't connected properly? That will cut wrong. So you've got to make sure you position it correctly. And you can do this by creating a very small offset and then welding together. And that should create just enough of a buffer so you don't get any missed edges around the edge. And now we're going to start building the raindrops. Now, obviously the solid ones can overlap, but the open ones can't. I don't know why these are all locked, so I don't know why they're squashing like this. Sometimes it just doesn't play ball, does it? But your aim is to duplicate all of your raindrops and position them. Yep, it's like it knows I'm doing this today. And everything needs to connect, because when it cuts, you want it all to cut as one piece. I mean, you can cut them separately if you're building on a card or a scrapbooking layer, but I prefer just to cut out and it's all built in one layer. And you're just going to go through and build up so that it looks like it's raining down on your umbrella. And you can put as many or as little raindrops on as you want and make files as fussy as you want. You've just got to think of the final result and, you know, is it too intricate to cut out? So we've got that there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice one in. So I'm going to put that over there. And you can see that if I weld that together, you're going to have the line running through it. So again, I'm going to duplicate it and try and move it out of the way without it doing that. I don't know why it's doing this today. It doesn't usually. I'm going to remove the contour of that, select all, and slice it out. You can see you're building it up gradually. Again, make sure that it's all connecting, select all, and weld. And there you've got a really cool rainy day letter. Now, I want that top drop to be open, so I'm just going to slice the middle out of that. And you can see how it's that easy to design. So we can do that again. And it's all about just creating a look that you want to achieve. And I'm really, really pleased with that. So that's our umbrella letter. So ignore the dark. That was just something I was playing around with. Now we're going to make the cupcake letter. So I'm going to go into the stalking or images bar, and we're going to search for 3 images. And I think I've put baking in, or bake. And I want a hat. So you can see there are quite a few free images. There used to be a lot more, but there's some to work with there. So we've got our baker's hat, we've got our cupcake, and we've got a rolling pin, which actually the rolling pin would be super easy to make with shapes. And what we're going to do is duplicate the cupcake, go back to the original cupcake and hide all the contours, and like last time, slice it out. And then when we pop that back in there, it's going to fit. The only important thing is to make sure that it's fitting all the way around and so you can see there's a gap. So I'm going to go back in again, select all, make it slightly bigger. A top tip is if you turn it white, you can see where it's not connecting. And what I tend to do is when I make my files, I turn them white, and then if there's a problem, you can see. So you can't tell when they're black, but turn it white. If there's any gaps, you will be able to tell. And now we're going to add our rolling pin, and the rotate tool doesn't seem to be playing. Sometimes I can get hold of it, some days I can't. So if you can't, then go up to the top bar and click rotate, and you can gradually do it and turn it round. So I'm going to position that there. You don't have to slice that out because it's a solid image, so we can just weld it. And we're going to add the hat. Now the hat is an open image. It's got a line right around the middle. So I'm going to rotate it, but I am not going to slice this out because it won't stay attached. That top bit will come away. So that works with this, because there you go, just take the middle out. And there you go, we've got your rain letter and your cake letter. It really is that easy to do. So any questions, just ask, but have a go and let me know how you get on. I hope you enjoyed that and you've got your finished letters, and you can do that with anything. It's just so easy. I'm just so excited to share with you the toolkit that I've used over the years to create, and so that you can create anything you want and design, because that's what it's about, isn't it? I mean, we're us creatives, it's in our head, and how do we get it out and get it onto the paper? So I really hope that's helping. And don't forget to come back next week, where we're going to make this into a layered cake topper with multiple layers and multiple colours. So I'll see you then, and thank you for watching. If you did like it, please do subscribe so that you're notified for my next video. And any questions, just pop them down below and I will ask them. If you want to look at my free files, I will also pop the link. As I say, so many alphabets with so many subjects, and they're on extraordinarychaos.com, so I'll drop the link for that below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next episode.